welcome to the first quarterfinal game of the MLS Season 4 Shovelers Cup Playoffs live on MBS. The first series is going to be between the city-state of Catania and Sandsvik. That is the series that we are broadcasting right now. The city-state of Catania was part of the top 6 of the playoffs and thus automatically qualified for the quarterfinals, while Sandsvik qualified as a result of winning the pre-quarterfinal game against Crystal City. The first game is going to be right here in Sandsvik. The second game is going to be at the city-state of Catania's home arena in Zakar. If a third game is necessary, that will also be in Zakar. And let's head over to the game right now.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Elite Neon, and I'll be your color commentator today for the MBS network. Not MBN this time, but MBS, and I did not screw that up. The Honorable Commissioner Skelly Zomperman will be the referee for this game of MLS Belief in this... out of breath. In this Shovelers Cup Game 3, I do believe it is. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going to hand things over to the Honorable Skelly Zomperman for the official start.
All right. Are the players ready for the first round?
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
And they're off again. The Shadow Point start, as always. Lovely little arena here in Sandsvik. It's nice and small, 21 by 21 meters, same dimensions as many of the MRT's Great Spleef arenas, the Waterville's Providence Park, I do believe Salina's Spleef Dancing, and of course the Shadow Point Virus Memorial Stadium. I cannot actually see the trench, but I'm going to call it a trench. I forgot to... and the score goes to 0-1 here in Sandsvik, City-State Catania, scoring the first points. And we go into the game. That's 0-1 here in Sandsvik. This is the MLS on MBS.
Are you ready for the second round?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, go.
Off again, and that was a very quick point for the City-State of Catania. The City-State of Catania is, of course, the 2-seed. Down goes Frazier, and I use that phrase once more. The score is 1-1 here in Sandsvik.
In hindsight, trying to jump off that single block was probably a bad idea. Ready.
We have retrospect here in Sandsvik.
Looks like we're ready for round number 3. 3, 2, 1, go.
That was two very quick rounds, if I do say so myself. The trench is running from the center to, I believe, from the center to the northeast and to the southwest. I keep doing this whole directional thing again. I don't know why, but it happens anyway. And Santa Luigi in the southwest corner. Kitty Cat 1-1-2-3-1 matching. Looks like they are... and Sands goes down. The score is 1-2 here in Sandsvik. And those are some very quick rounds here in this lovely little city.
The fourth round. Are you ready?
Ready.
Yep.
3, 2, 1, go.
This game is so exciting that both the commentator and the ref are literally standing on the table. Well, not anymore. I'm still the only one standing on the table.
You dropped your shovel
for a moment.
Okay,
there we go. Let's
that was a
resume.
little thing. The game has been resumed after the City-State of Catania dropped their shovels. So, very close call on there for both sides. I'm going to be going up into Channel 4 Action News helicopter mode here, if I say so myself. I don't think we're going to be able to play the game of shapes as we traditionally do at these MLS games for this Shovelers Cup. All these teams have a very pulverized field style of play. City-State of Catania, southeast corner, stands on Luigi. And we're in a standoff here. Kitty Cat 1-1-2-3-1 making the offensive move. Repelled by San Luigi. Kitty Cat, very close call. Oh, incredibly close. And Sands goes down. The score is 1-3 here in the city in Sandsvik, and it's a match point for the visiting city-state of Catania.
Ready.
Ready.
Ready for round number 5. Match points Catania. 3, 2, 1, go.
We are off again. Match point for the visiting city-state of Catania. The next game will be played in Zakwar, I do believe, which is the wonderful Diamondback Arena, Diamondplex Arena, excuse me, and Chile Elecna Bay you'll be catapulted into if you
Diamondplex.
you do. Oh, and the point goes to Sandsvik. The score is 2-3, and it's still match point for the city-state of Catania.
Ooh.
Ready.
Ready.
Round number 6. 3, 2, 1, go.
Off again, as I was saying, the very large Diamondplex Arena will be going to for the next game. But as of now, I can vaguely make out a some sort of rifle with a stock out of the field. I guess that's the first game of shapes that has now been ruined by Sands on Luigi of the Sandsvik team. Very close call, and Sands goes down. The score is 3-3, and we go to deuce.
City-state of Catania
They win.
wins 4-2.
Yes, the city-state of Catania wins 4-2, and I am I'm a little confused, aren't I? That's the game here, and that's the game here in Sandsvik. I'm Elite Neon, and we'll be going to Zakwar and the Diamondplex Arena for Game 2 of this series.
So for our viewers on MBS, the city-state of Catania has won its away game in Sandsvik 4-2. We're going to be heading over to Zakar next for the second game of the series to determine who will go to the semifinals. After these messages, you're watching the MLS Shovelers Cup Quarterfinals on MBS. And welcome back to the Shovelers Cup Quarterfinals of Major League Spleef live on MBS. We are here in Zakar for the second game of the series between the city-state of Catania and Sandsvik. Catania won the first game 4-2 against Sandsvik. If Catania wins its home game right now, that means Catania will advance to the semifinals. If Sandsvik wins this next game, then there will have to be a third game in the series, and that game will determine the quarterfinal winner. Let's head over to the game right now.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and this is the second game of the series in this first series of the quarterfinals between the at-home city-state of Catania and the visiting Sandsvik team, Sands and Luigi for Sandsvik and Kitty Cat 11231, of course, for Catania. I'll hand things over to the Honorable Commissioner Skelly Zomperman for the official referee duties. Go ahead.
Round number 1. Are you ready?
Ready.
Yep.
3, 2, 1, go.
The shadow point start, as always. It's been, I do believe it's been used since the PMW City East End series some years ago, and I do believe MLS season 2 or 3. That was at the time the highest scoring MLS game in history. We seem to be in a. Sandsvik seems to be inheriting the smallest side of the field. That was a very close call for the city of Catania, and the roles seem to be reversed for just a moment, but we seem to be back in its original state. Sans Luigi on the western end of the field, and Kitty Cat 1, 2, 3, 1 on the eastern end of the field. We're hovering around the 50-yard line if this was football. The stadium is actually big enough to be an American football field, at least in length. I do believe last time I measured it. The trench, of course, is here, and it's been entrenched in the minds of MLS players and viewers since the Salina City-State of Shadowpoint series some months ago, which was the first televised series of Season 4, taking place in the Salina Spleefnasium and the Shadowpoint Virus Memorial Arena. And Catania goes down, and the score is 0-1 here in... Oh, where's my thing? 0-1 here in Zakwar, and this is the MLS on MBS.
Ready.
Second round, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Shadow point start as always. The two players seem to be charging at each other. Kitty Cat 1, 1, 2, 3, 1 making the first turn away from the charge. The trench is being dug from about the 50-yard line, but I don't think we can call it a trench. I think now we can call that one a trench. It's running from the older trench all the way up to the about the northwest center of the field, and no, it's coming back around. The game of shapes, as I predicted earlier in this series, and for this Shovelers Cup, probably won't be able to be played in this Shovelers Cup. All the teams in the Shovelers Cup seem to have a more of a pulverize the field and you know, just pulverize the field sort of strategy. Sans Luigi on the western end of the field, Kitty Cat 1, 2, 3, 1 on the southern end of the field now. It's going to be north to south. These are some very small trenches in many of the games that I have played myself, and many of the games that I have watched. The trenches get very large, usually 3 or 4 meters in some points, and up to 10 meters in other points, but as long as it's legal. Sansic stuck in the corner there, and they're climbing out right there. And that's MBN. That's MBN Chairman, not Shirt 925, interrupting a live broadcast. I'm no Howard Cosell, but, we'll work with it. And the score is 1-1 here in the wonderful city of Zakwar, a war-ravaged city, but they're coming back. City-state Sandsvik, rather, has fallen into chilly Alekna Bay.
Third round, are you ready?
Ready.
Yep.
3, 2, 1, go.
I do believe that the Honorable Commissioner skipped the...
I don't know how a stadium made of ice would manage to not melt sitting in it.
Got a point.
A more traditional trench is being dug with a less traditional side trench. But the trenches are afoot, and as the trench man myself, I'm quite happy. I do own a trench coat, and oh, I can't. And that's another point for Sandsvik, City of Catania falling into chilly Alekna Bay. I have felt that feeling many times during the season, and I do not like it one bit.
Ready.
Round number 4. Are you ready? 3,
Save.
2, 1.
Save.
Go.
Save. Save.
The save will be fine by the time we reach anyway. So.
Do we redo that one? Or oh.
Yeah, let's just redo it at this point.
Ready.
Okay, round number 5. We're ready now. 3, 2, 1, go.
And we're off again. The score is 1-2 here in Zakwar in favor of Sandsvik, visiting Sandsvik. If Sandsvik wins this game, we will go to a third game of the series, and the series will be decided by that, and Catania could be knocked out of the playoffs. However, if Catania wins this game here, Sandsvik is the one that gets knocked out, and we all get to go home.
I hear the words home field disadvantage.
Yeah, MBN chairman, not short 925, is correct. There is a somewhat of a home field disadvantage lately. As a player myself, I have experienced that many times. I had a horrible home record, but at least these two players have had a much better opportunity and a much better home record. However, they still suffer from this home field disadvantage.
I'll say it's been brought up many times to take the series between Catania and New Hyrule. New Hyrule made it a much more interesting game on the road than at home in that series early in the season.
One does not necessarily think of New Hyrule as a split powerhouse, but on that day, we all did. Giving Catania at the very least a run for its money. Now, of course, Catania, I do believe, swept the series, if I'm not wrong, but it was still a very close.
I believe it was a 5-3 game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, and that's another point for Sandsvik. We go to match point here. Unless my eyes do deceive me.
Oh man, match point Sandsvik going into the 5th round. Are you ready?
Ready.
3, 2, 1, go.
This has been a very adjunct game. Every time a round has started, a point was scored, and this time the point differential is for visiting Sandsvik. As to my earlier point, nobody really thinks of New Hyrule as a split powerhouse, but on that day they deserve that title. The trench is being dug. I'm very happy. The trench is being dug, and it's a traditional trench running from about the 50-yard line on the southern side to about the 30 or 40-yard line on the northern side. Sandsvik on the western end of the field, slightly smaller than Kitty Cat 11231's eastern side of the field. And you heard it there, folks. We are live in the general chat of Mumble. We seem to be in a standoff here in a beautiful Zakwar, and chilly Elecna Base sits right below us. However, we are still in a standoff. San Luigi on the western end of the field, Kitty Cat 11231 on the eastern side of the field. Offensive moves don't seem to be coming from either team at this moment. Kitty Cat 1231 is retreating, and San Luigi is hopping over to the other side of the field, and the eastern side of the field is now being dug up. Kitty Cat 1231 has the largest section of the eastern side, and San Luigi has a much smaller section, and I do believe we have our first real game of shapes. This looks like a giraffe from my angle facing south to north. Giraffe.
It looks more like a hippopotamus.
What was that, Skelly?
It looks like more like a hippopotamus.
H.
Hi. Hi, said the player from the city-state of Catania, and I say hello. We're here in Zakwar, and this is the second game of this series, the first series overall of the Shovelers Cup. San Luigi making a side to his original side of the field. Kitty Cat 1231 following closely, and the trench is being dug. Hooray! And I'm falling onto the field, and San Luigi goes down. The score is 2-3, still in favor of the Sandsvik. The match point retains Sandsvik, but the game is going to be closer, and neither team is going to be going quietly into the night.
Ready?
Round number 6. Yep, they're ready. 3, 2, 1, go.
We're off again, and the adjunctness of this game does continue. A point was scored on every round that has been started, except for that false start. But we're not going to count that. The trench is being dug from about the 50-yard line on the southern side. There seems to be a pattern here, and it's going to be all the way up to, I'd say, about the 45, 47 and a half yard line if this was football, but it's not. That was me going into a very cheap and very bad Howard Cosell impression. Please excuse me. Kitty Cat 11231 for the Catania team on the eastern side of the field. Sans Luigi on the northern side of the field. On the southern side of the field, you'll see the runway for the Zaquar Menage a Trois regional airport. And on the northern side of the field, you'll see a ferry that is built out of diamond and iron blocks. So that seems to be a very old monstrosity, if I do say so myself. And I mean that in a positive way, in a half-jokingly way. I don't need to offend anybody. There seems to be an offensive move by both sides. The trench is being dug from the center to the east. Sans Luigi on the southern side of the field.
That little lag spike you have.
Kitty Cat 11231 on the northern side of the field. The trenches are connected. Sans Luigi and Kitty Cat 11231 on this game of the MLS on MBS. These lag spikes were brought to you by Minecraft 1.15. Definitely not fixed in 1.16. Thank you, Mojang. Oh, I'm sorry, Mojang Studios. Yes. Yes.
A subsidiary of Microsoft.
Yes, as if Microsoft hasn't fallen any further. Kitty Cat 11231 has switched sides with Sans Luigi traditionally. Nope, going back to his own traditional side of the field. Sans Luigi is on the southern portion of the eastern half. Sans Luigi is inheriting these smaller portion of the field, and Kitty Cat 11231 has a lot of ice sheet to play with. Score is 2-3 here in Zaquar. I do believe that this looks like a very deformed AK-47 rifle with a large box sight, but it's not as believable as I would think. Now, if you turn your attention to the trench running north, you could make out a shotgun with a very long and weird handle. I forgot what the handle of the gun is actually called. Not my day, I tell you. I am pretty sure I crashed last night. Kitty Cat 11231 on the northern side of the field. Sans Luigi offensive move by the Catania team. I still would call this a standoff here in Zaquar, even though both sides are making offensive moves, but the fruits of this round have not been picked. Looks like both teams are trying to draw each other to the other side and waiting for a defensive ambush. Lag spike. Lag spike. That was seen on both my screen and I do believe the screen of the players. The only advice that I, the commentator, can give to our players when there's a lag spike or the save lag starts is to run, and if you do, pray. I'm going to call this a stalemate here in Zaquar. Sans Luigi is eating food. City State of Catania makes an offensive move, and Sans Luigi has to retreat. Kitty Cat 11231 made the offensive move there, dug up a little bit of Sans' portion of the field while he was eating. Brilliant tactic, if I may. Sans Luigi is going back to his side of the field, his original portion. And Kitty Cat 11231 makes an offensive move very close, and down goes Catania. The score is 2-4 here, and I do believe that is the game.
Yep.
And that's the game here in Zaquar.
Quarterfinal. That means that there will be a third game right here in Zaquar. And for our viewers,
That's the game!
For our viewers on MBS, we'll be right back with that series right after these messages. You're watching the MLS Shovelers Cup Quarterfinals live on MBS. And welcome back. It's time for the third game in the split quarterfinal series between the city-state of Catania and Sandsvik, happening also in Zakar. Whoever wins this game will go on to the semifinals.
We're here again in beautiful Zakwar over the chilly Elecna Bay, here for this third game of the series, for this first series of the MLS Shovelers Cup, live here on MBS. MBS, in living color, a Feeling Holdings Company. I will hand things over to the Honorable Commissioner Skelly Zopperman for the referee duties. Skelly Zopperman, of course, is coming off an honorable loss to Sandsvik just some days ago, booting him from the playoffs and unfortunately curtailing any playoff dreams. Skelly Zopperman, take it away.
All right. So the first round of this third game, winner of this game will advance to the semifinals to play the winner of the Peripotamia Winterside series. Players, are you ready?
Sandsvik goes semis?
Ready.
3. Wait, is Sans ready?
Actually, hold for a moment.
I'm ready.
For a moment, I need to replace my shovel.
All right.
Okay, ready.
Sandsvik goes semis! Exclamation point.
3, 2, 1, go.
And we're off again. The shadow point start as always. And this is the MLS on MBS. Both players seem to be charging at each other. The first digging by San Luigi, followed closely by Kitty Cat 11231. I cannot even see Kitty Cat 11231 from where I was perched on the stands, even though I was literally on the wall. The trench is running from about the 45-47.5 yard line all the way down to the 45-47.5 yard line of the other side. San Luigi is on the western side of the field, and Kitty Cat 11231 on the eastern side of the field. I'd say that both sizes of this stroke there, excuse me, both sizes of the ice sheets are about the same. Kitty Cat 123-1, however, digging up part of his own field as to give Sans a little bit more of a challenge if he chooses to come over. Sans Luigi is now paralleling the actions of Kitty Cat 11231. And Captain Chimpy has just done a command speed 10 fail in the general chat. This is the MLS on MBS. We seem to be moving to the western side of the field, which is traditionally Sans' territory. Kitty Cat 11231 is actively seeking out Sans Luigi and the Sans team. And Sans Luigi is on the has inherited a smaller side of the field. And down goes Catania. The score is now 0-1 here in Zakwa.
Ready.
Sandsvik getting the first blood of this series.
Ready.
All right, the second round. 3, 2, 1, go. And I also must warn that the save is coming up in about a minute and a half. Elite.
Yes, of course. The trench is running from the southern 50-yard line all the way up to the northern 50-yard line. I'm very happy that the trenches are back now. I would say that in our first game of shapes in this particular game, I do spot a broom handle Mauser, which is a German pistol with a very large stock. It was the first attempt at a pistol carbine, and it was first introduced in World War One. The Mauser C96 broom handle no longer available, but hey, we have the Glock 17 FAV carbine now. There's no need. There's no need to be we don't need the broom handle anymore. We have the broom killer. Sans Luigi, of course, on the eastern side of the field. Kitty Cat 11231 on the western side of the field. I do believe that the broom handle now looks more like a M134 Thompson submachine gun, the Italian gun used by Chicago's and New York's gangsters in the 1930s. We seem to be in a standoff here in a beautiful Zakwa. The score is 0-1 in favor of the visiting Sandsvik team. And the save has started. The save is, well, the only advice this reporter can say is to run and pray. The save seems to be over. The save lag seems to be over. And it seems that server owner Frumple is doing some permission stuff in the general chat. Sans Luigi is on the eastern side of the field. Kitty Cat 11231 on the central side of the field on the eastern half. Kitty Cat 1123 making an offensive move repelled by Sans Not Luigi. The trench is being dug, and oh boy, lots of trenches today. Standoff again here in Zakwa. The saves in progress, 1 minute. Kitty Cat 11231 on the more western side of the field, and Sans Not Luigi on the eastern side of the field. Even though I'm not reffing this game, I still have my Smith and Wesson obediently drawn. It comes as habit. Little bits of digging by both teams, chewing away at the trench as to create an advantage for either side. Sans Luigi looked like he was going to make a jump, and he is actively drawing out Kitty Cat 1231 by pretending to jump, but moving away at just the last minute. Now, that's a tactic that's been used by basically everybody, but it is still used, and it's notable, I would say. Kitty Cat 1231 making a crossover into Sans' side. The trench is being dug, and it kind of looks like a really old cannon. Sans Luigi repelling attacks by Kitty Cat 11231. MRT Vision 7 is now open, and it's taking submissions, and it closes on the 26th.
Ping pong.
Now, I do believe that was MBN Chairman Not Short 925 with the words ping pong. Sans Luigi is on the more western portion of the field, and that's Kitty Cat 11231 on the eastern side, and they seem to have swapped sides and swapped positions. Very close game. Sans Luigi is inheriting the smaller side of the field. The trench is getting bigger. The trench, of course, has been entrenched in the minds of MLS players and viewers since the Salina City State of Shatterpoint series some months ago. That was the first televised series of Season 4. I was whooped, if I do say so myself. Standoff again here in Catania, in Zakwar, and it's so much of a standoff that I've forgotten the score. The score is 0-1 here in Zakwar. Not my day today. At this time, I am now ingesting a Vesuvio coffee from Aroma Coffee. That's some very good night vision. Lasts about 2 hours. Kitty Cat 11231 has a very small chunk of the field. Sans Luigi has a larger chunk. Kitty Cat crossing over into the larger chunk of the field and chipping away. Sans Luigi actively seeking out Kitty Cat 1231. Oh, very risky move by Sans Luigi on that single block. That could have been death for the Sansic team. This portion of the game seems to be centered around the eastern side of the field. Referee Skelly Zomberman is just sitting there motionless in the air. I can't blame him. Now he's moving. Kitty Cat 1231, very close call. That was some witchcraft. In my opinion. Kitty Cat 1231 is down in the center portion of the field, and Sans Luigi has a much smaller ice sheet to play with, but he will play with it. Kitty Cat 1231 and Sans Luigi here in Zakwar, the MLS on MBS. MBS in living color. And most of the slogans I come up for these networks are indeed, made up by myself and not endorsed by the networks whatsoever.
That is correct.
In living color for MBS. In living color for MBS and the MRT's broadcasting network for MBN. This portion of the game is brought to you. Well, I came up with it.
When you said for MBN, it's literally the banner of the channel.
Oh. Well, I came up with it, so.
No, wrong.
No, I came up with it. I was the first to use it.
If you want to be specific, technically that was an MBS phrase before anything else.
And that's a score for the City State of Catania. And Sandswick goes into Chile Electric Bay, and me and my boss at the MBN network we're having a little argument over who came up with the MBN slogan first.
Ready.
Are you ready for the third round?
Yep.
Ready.
3, 2, 1, go.
Very long, drawn-out round there. Western side of the field, you'll have Sans Luigi and the Sandsburg team. On the eastern side of the field, you'll have the city-state of Catania team. And they seem to be swapping sides already, and the trench is growing. On the northern side of the field, you'll have Stans and the city of Zaquar, and on the southern side of the field, you'll have Stans and the Zaquar Menage a Trois regional airport, and of course the Zeta expansion. Epsilon and Zeta expansions, excuse me. The trench is running. Trench is running from the 47.5-yard line on the western side all the way down to the 50-yard line on the eastern side. Skelly Zauberman accidentally shooting a bow again. That bow is, of course, a Smith & Wesson Model 442. And Sandsvik has gone down into Chile like the Bay. The score is 2-1 here in Zaquar.
Ready.
3, 2, 1, go.
The loser of this game, of course, will be smacked and pistol whipped by my handy Smith & Wesson 442, which also has power 100 or 200, I do believe. A little bit of a name dropping for my own franchise, so that might be unethical, so I'll stop. Kitty Cat 1, 2, 3, 1 on the western side of the field, Sans Luigi on the eastern side of the field, and the trench is growing from the 50-yard line on the southern side all the way into the eastern side of the field, more north. Trench is growing. The word north reminds me of Law & Order's Chris Noth. Quick water break there for this announcer. We seem to be in a standoff again here in Zaquar. The score is, I forget. The score here is 2-1 in favor of the city-state of Catania. Sandsvik, of course, the visiting team. There has been many grumblings of a home field disadvantage, shall we say. And then, as a MLS player myself, even though I'm not in the playoffs, I would have to agree with that. Sans Luigi lost his home game, and Kitty Cat 1, 2, 3, 1 lost his first home game. Of course, we are in a second home game here in Zaquar. Former moderator Major Magpie has just joined the game. Sans Luigi on the northern side of the field. Kitty Cat 1, 2, 3, 1 on the southern side of the field. I do kind of see the American Eagle logo, both American Airlines as American Eagle and the clothing brand. But of course, scores 3-1 here. Scores 3-1 here in Zaquar. Sandsvik, of course, falling into Chile like the Bay.
We're going into the fifth
for
round. Yep, match point for City State of Catania. Are you ready?
Ready.
3, 2, 1, go.
Off again here in Zaquar. This could be the deciding moment for the playoff dreams of either of these teams. If Catania scores one more point, then they go on to the playoffs, of course, the 2 seed. If Sandsvik manages to score, I do believe, 4 points, after including a 1 point here as to tip the balance, then the 7 seed will win over the 2 seed at that scenario, and it will be an upset. Very close call there for Kitty Cat 1, 2, 3, 1 and the Catania team. Sans Luigi immediately drawing out. Kitty Cat 1, 2, 3, 1, digging the trench. Lots of trenches. I love the trenches. Down in the trenches I used to be, but now I lost I lost all my games, so I couldn't get into my playoffs. Sans Luigi on the eastern side of the field, which is traditionally the starting point for the Catania team, and Kitty Cat 1, 2, 3, 1 and the Catania team closely following.
They lost out of the playoffs by virtue of playing less games. Playing more games, rather.
Yes, I did play more games. I only had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people to play before the end of the season, but most of those people were inactive. This portion of the MLS on MBS is brought to you by the Amazing Race 11, featuring Kitty Cat 11231 and underscore Castle winning over Snowdude 01 and 6687 Kitty Cat. Or did I get those reversed? But either way, the Amazing Race 11. MBS, of course, has launched a new graphics package, and it's going to be debuted at, I do believe, the August GSM. It could be the could be July.
Going out August 1st. August 1st.
August 1st, and the chairman of MBN is correct, or at least corrected me, and they'll go on for the August GSM. Of course, there is a GSM just tomorrow here on MBS, and that's the game.
That's the game.
The score is 4-1 here in Zaquar.
That's the game.
After a hard...
The city-state of Catania The City of Catania has won 4-1 and has swept the series 2-1. Not necessarily swept, but won the series 2-1. Sandsvik, the 7th seed, unfortunately goes home. Now, if I could get just one of you in GMS, as we need to do the sacrifice, as always. And the losing team, Sans Not Luigi and the Sandsvik team, are sent home to Sandsvik by means of Smith & Wesson gun. I'm Elite Neon. This has been the first series of the MLS on MBS quarterfinals for the Shovelers Cup, and I'll hand things over to Network Chairman KittyCat1231, victorious here in Zakwar. Good night.
For our viewers on MBS, the city-state of Catania emerges from the quarterfinals victorious against Sandsvik. The city-state of Catania won the first game in Sandsvik by a 4-2 margin. The second game in Zakar was won by Sandsvik, splitting the series, and the city-state of Catania has returned, winning the third game here, also in Zakar. That means the city-state of Catania will go on to the semifinals against either Parapotamia or Winterside. That quarterfinal is going to be live tomorrow on MB. Actually, that quarterfinal is going to be live on Sunday on MBS. We have two other quarterfinals that are going to be live tomorrow on MBS, so stay tuned for that. Also, stay tuned for the GSM. For now, from MBS Sports and Games, Lynn Zakar, I'm KittyCat1231. This has been Major League Spleef, the Shovelers Cup Playoffs on MBS.